Well, it seems like the test was successful. Now, the thing is, you probably didn't know I did a test because I didn't tell you I did a test, because the test recording that I did telling you about this test is, in fact, not going to be shown to anyone. Maybe someday. Who knows? Anyway, the reason this recording is simple. You can see my hair is not really made up that well, but that's about... This is probably the theme of this recording. The biggest theme of this recording. Being ready to do things. Being organized. Being consistent in the things that we do. Living up to promises and living up to commitments. How many times have we done something where he said, oh, we were going to do this every week, and then the week comes along, and the days pass. So he says, well, what happened to you? You said, well, I forgot. Or something else came up. How many times have we used that excuse in our lifetimes, and how many times do we think we get away with it before people stop counting on us? I hope my audience here, which is not very big right now, which is unfortunate and is my fault, because I cannot grow an audience for a program that's not consistently out. And for the faith of the people that are still there, thank you. Thank you for all of those that decide to stick with me on this journey of my last years of my life. Hi, for those who don't know me, or the ones that do. My name is Mike. I started this channel about 3 or 4 years ago, and I did have recordings before that. And I had another channel before that with a film named Hugh. Very nice gentleman who I met, who had brought me through a very tough time in life, mind you. And we bonded over the one thing that we both loved, ironically, because that's how we met, hockey. It's amazing how many people we meet through the connections of very, very unexpected events. Events that we didn't expect to happen. Events that sometimes are just totally unplanned and totally random. And sometimes will begin and then suddenly end for no particular reason. No explanation. No goodbyes. No ending. No closure. You know what? After a while of attempting to figure out why they ended, we sometimes just have to figure that they've just ended and move on. So unfortunately, wherever he is out there, if he sees this recording and happens to come across my channel someday, I'll say a heartfelt thank you. You made a difference in my life, even though if you don't think you did. I thank you, sir. Anyway, so talking about things like that, talking about like today, me deciding to go on this computer because I decided to do something that I shouldn't have done. I have other commitments, and I have other ways of making money. This channel does not make me money as of yet. It's just a means to an end. It's to help me get out there so that eventually maybe I will make money. Maybe eventually I'll be able to make this my permanent job. I've seen so many other YouTubers do this, so I figured if they can do it, so can I. And that's why I'm here. And I'm also kind of leaving a bit of me behind, because one day I will be gone and this is all will be left of me. At least left of me that's now. Do most of us take time to think about that type of immortality? That one day the only thing that will be left of us is some recording recorded somewhere on some secure server somewhere that people will eventually will look at and say, who was that? What did he do? Why was he so bloody important? Well, you're only as important as the people that feel that you're important. The plain simple. Nobody's any more important than anyone else just by default. That importance only comes from people deciding that you are important enough to be important to them. So, on that note, I'm hoping those people out there that watch this channel today feel like I'm taking an effort to become more part of their lives and make their time worthwhile spending with me, and that I can become more consistent, more helpful, more entertaining host on this channel as I go through the discovery of my life, which is simply your life too. We all live the same sorts of lives, we just live them differently. We both have different lives. We all have different lives from each other. So on that note, why am I here today? Okay, why I'm here today is because, like I said, as I was alluded to, I have another job I do on the side. I start my own company doing advertising. It started out simply from doing advertising for one of the newspaper companies, sending out their advertising flyers once a week. Very tedious job, didn't pay a lot, but it paid me money. on top of the income I get from being a disabled person, which is not a lot, by the way. So in order to do that, over time that phased out when things happen in the companies merge and things change and that job became ended. But before that ended, I came across this opportunity, ironically enough, while looking for a place to live. I was looking around for a place to live, thinking eventually I might want to move to somewhere nicer than I was. So I walked around Silent Street for a guy that had a room for rent, asked him about it, and he didn't have it ready yet. But what happened is I managed to have a business card of mine from my business. I created some business cards a while back. I got some new ones. Always a good thing out there to do networking because opportunities come some of the strangest places. And this is no different. This is one of the ones that came in a very strange place. I handed it to this guy. It just happened that his girlfriend, her brother, was a real estate agent. The real estate agent is Gabriel Lorenz of Royal Page Realty, Performance Realty, who eventually did come to meet me in my little disheveled apartment I was living at the time. Wasn't the best of situations. The place is not the greatest place, but it was home. And we sat down and he talked and he said, "You need somebody to do advertising." We hooked up a tentative price and he paid me a little money up front as a sign of goodwill to me. And I started working. That was almost 10 years ago. Actually, no, it seems like maybe 9. I think it was about a year, maybe 2. I can't remember before I met my beloved Monica. So I ended up doing that on top of my advertising, and it was great because I was making a little extra money on top. I wasn't charging a lot at the time because it wasn't that much extra work because I was piling it in a lot of cases into the people's flyers that lived in the areas where he was asking me to deliver. So it worked out well in that regard. It didn't put any real extra work for me except a little extra work inserting a few of the ads into most of the papers and then doing the ones I didn't deliver, the areas I didn't deliver, which was one of very, very few. The majority of them were actually able to deliver, which is great. And this comes to the point of this today. Now that the thing is expanded, it's expanded to practically all the areas I used to do advertising at one point in time or another for this particular paper. As I had expanded, I was in Vanier. I started and stopped it a couple times. I stopped it once for a vacation time that I thought I was taking. It turns out I didn't end up going on vacation, but I ended up coming back. I needed money, so I asked to see if I could get my job back. Well, I ended up getting most of the areas I had originally back, not all of them. But then I got a couple more new areas. So then it obviously expands. So ironically enough, the areas that I did before and the areas I did at the end were all overlapping each other. So eventually, now I'm doing all these areas for a completely different purpose. Do it every once and a half, once, 1.5 months, whatever he gets a listing. And it's become rewarding. Unfortunately, it's a lot of hard work, especially this time of year. Hence why I'm home today. I was intending to go out. I was going to go, was very upset, anxious to go, but at the same time very trepidatious. See, the thing is in life, we have things happen to us. In this case, I had the key from my fiance's car. Now, this used to not be a problem. Keys used to be relatively inexpensive. You go to a locksmith for $5, less than $2 at that time. You get a brand new key cut and it's all. It's done. In the age of security and theft and all this, we now got these digital special fancy keys that have fancy cut keys and also have fancy computer chips on them. Needless to say, losing this key is a lot more egregious act than it was back then. The key, if you go through a dealership, is about $250 approximately to replace. Hence why I haven't replaced it, and hence why we only got one key. Hence my trepidation. After losing the first key, and this was just sort of a complete ridiculous accident to lose in the first place. Losing a second key, the only key we have now, it seems a little scary for me. And maybe that trepidation's led me to not want to go out on my own today. This and a Tuesday, which I have to go out if I want to continue doing my ads in a timely manner so I can get paid. To please not just myself to get paid, to please the client as well. So because of that trepidation not going out, I stayed home and pushed it back. I just kept on waiting longer and longer, making sure got to go to the bathroom because my health obviously makes me need to go to the bathroom more often, especially after I eat. Something that most of us will experience as we get older, unfortunately. And because I'll try, eventually, and I finally said, well, and since my beloved was working at home today, and on top of that, she wants to go out and spend some time with her son. The two of us go and see her son. I guess my son, our son, I guess. Her son from her previous relationship a long time ago when he no longer has father. And he's become part of my life in that way, and I've done a lot, I think, to hope with foster a relationship. I wish I could do more. So anyway, we're going this afternoon to Red Lobster Restaurant to have some time with him. And since she's at home and she wanted to go right away, and the idea was I was going to go do my work, come back in time so I could take a shower and get ready to go out after she was finished her work. That was the original plan. But unfortunately, since I didn't go out to do my work, I stayed in and moped around for a bit. Eventually, we decided, well, we had gotten a receiver for the replacement for our 5-box. It just went kablooey, number 3 now. So I decided to stay home and hook that up instead, figuring at least to get something done. After a little bit of wildering and having to call technical support a while because it wasn't connecting totally the way it was supposed to, it was doing better than the first 2, by the way. We managed to finally get it in, and we finally, after a little bit more fiddling, get to work with the TV set. Hence, while she's watching upstairs, I'm downstairs talking to you. So, let's just see what we can accomplish in a little bit of time I've got left here, because I have to upload this video, maybe not tonight, maybe tomorrow, I don't know, it depends on how much time I have, because I'm doing this while I'm uploading a video that I did previously for you guys. So let's get to the point. First of all, the video uploading that's going up now had a little bit of audio problems. I didn't realize it because, unlike most hosts, my headphones are kind of in an inconvenient place. They're not long enough cable to feed so I can hear the recording, and I don't usually sit with the headphones on, and I also don't have the speakers on to hear the feedback of the recording to see what's going on because I want to create feedback. So unfortunately, I could not, in this case, hear the recording quality, which, in this case, because I was attempting to get rid of the clipping from the very inexpensive mixer board I have here, by the way, and it was causing all kinds of issues, making the sound really funny. You could still hear what I said, but it just sounded wrong. So, what I did after, as I realized that, I recorded a test recording right after that to test it out, and it seemed to be fine. I didn't play with settings. I came back, loaded the computer up again, started over again, did another test recording to make sure nothing got messed up and wrong, and then because that test recording seemed to come okay, this is why I'm come to you now. So let's talk about something more substantial than about all the crazy things going on in my life. The question is, what's going on in your lives these days? Are you having the same situation? Do you find yourself, as you get older, being more distracted by life and not trying to find yourself worrying about getting things done, finding excuses for why not things done? It's always saying the thing that I can do it later on. Are you finding yourself in that situation? Meaning, okay, are you afraid of making bad choices? Are you afraid of messing up? Are you afraid of just being afraid? Well, that's life. And to top it off with all the stuff going on top of all the things about being afraid of, guess what we have? We just found out this weekend that Mark Carney, no surprise at all, is now the leader of the not the Conservative Party, well, that would be disastrous, of our Liberal Party. He's now the leader. Surprise, surprise, surprise. For those of you that thought that he wasn't really going to become the leader of the Liberal Party, put your hand up. I don't see anybody's hands up, first of all, because I can't see you, and secondly, because if you did have your hand up, you'd be a bigger fool than anyone. Of course, he was going to become Liberal Party leader. He's going to become Prime Minister for whatever amount of time he has. So now we're going to see the big test. Will Mark Carney, A, hold on as long as he can, run in a by-election so he can sit in the House for the remainder of the term, hopefully if he gets re-elected, as Prime Minister elected now? B, will he call a snap election and hope that he gets a mandate based on the euphoric high that he thinks his party has gotten amongst Liberal supporters, and hopefully enough of those Liberal supporters vote that the NDP doesn't get enough seats to make them a minority government again, the same way as they are now, so they'd be in the back, the same situation as before, and then having the same sort of peril? Or C, do they go back to Parliament, ask for the NDP support, get Parliament started so they can throw a whole bunch of money out there because of this crisis with Donald Trump that everyone seems to think we're in, and then maybe he goes for a by-election somewhere, he picks a safe seat so he can serve and wait it out, or does he call election after he's done that, hoping that now he's going to get the NDP to help him hang this bag of goodies, that he's now got to compete with the NDP for the will of the people, because they're going to try to convince the people that it was them, not the Liberals, that got them those things done, and because they got these things done, they're going to say, look how much more we can do for you if we were actually in power, instead of having to ask the Liberals for help. And we can't ask the Conservatives for help because the Conservatives are going to take all the things away from you. So don't vote for those dreaded Conservatives because they're going to take everything away from you. Only we can help you live the better life. Well, ask yourself a question. And I'm not going to tell anyone to vote because the fact is, I'm not here to tell advice to people how to do anything. I'm just laying out the room and just letting people pick the floor they want to dance on. The NDP and the Liberals being a more socialist bent, with the NDP being the most socialist bent they're laid, with the Liberals sort of leading that way, especially with Justin Trudeau's leadership, want to make everyone dependent on the state for everything. Their income, their livelihood, their safety, deciding what their books you should read, deciding what things you should watch, deciding what clothes you should wear, deciding everything for you, because apparently, according to them, they know best. And you can see in the way they carry out politics, especially the NDP. The NDP are more like this, but the Liberals had become a lot like this. And there's a definite agenda if you look out for it. Now, I'm not going to tell you again what to vote for. I'm not going to say don't vote for them, because the fact is that if I tell someone the old saying, you told a kid not to touch the thing on the stove, what they do is touch the stove anyway, because they want to find out why they shouldn't touch it. Well, you're going to have to figure out yourself why you should either vote or not vote for any particular party in question. Think about the type of life you want to live. Think about who is going to give you that life, the most likely that's going to give you that life, who's going to be most aligned with your personal values, most aligned with who you are as a person, most aligned with the world you think the world should be. Because ultimately when you vote, that is exactly what you're attempting to do. You're attempting to vote for somebody that has the same values as you, belongs to a party that has the same values as you, and ultimately through the course of them being governments, if they become elected as governments with enough members, will be able to enact the policies to bring about the world and life that you think everyone else should be living. Because that's what you're ultimately doing. You're deciding for everybody else too, or attempting to decide for everybody else. So that's what one thing's going on in the world. That's something that may happen soon. We'll have to find out. We'll have to see as the days unfold. I may talk about this more as we see whether or not this actually happens or not. Until it does, we'll just have to go with doing what we can. And what is that? Well, I'm not putting things off. Not putting things off that need to be done just because you don't want to do them. Whether it's because you're too tired, you're too lazy, it's too cold, it's too this, it's too that, you're too afraid, you're too scared. Whatever the reason is for why you make an excuse, you're too busy watching your TV shows. You're too afraid to get away from your partner because you're afraid if you spend too much time away from them, they won't love you anymore. Whatever the reason. And we all have reasons for doing things like that. We're prioritizing some things over others. We're not organizing and balancing our time better. I'm probably just as bad as a lot of people are. I'm a work in progress. I'd like to do better. So what is it that I can do? First of all, I can stop promising you that I'm going to be better. I think that's the flawed mistake that most of us do. We always sit there and we promise everyone, "Oh, this time we will do better." Well, there's an old saying I used to say a lot of times, and the truth is the truth of it all. Actions speak louder than words. So, I'm not going to tell you that I'm going to be better. I'm going to show you better. And what the reward I will get for that is that more you will come to me and want to watch my channel. More you will come to me to ask for advice. More you will be entertained by me, even if it's just sake of being entertained. I hope to maybe inform you a little bit too. That's a possibility too. Maybe that's something I can accomplish. I don't know. That's the idea of this test. It's called My Loonies Work for a Reason. Okay, well, I gotta look at. I see it backwards there. Like that. My Loonies Work for a Reason. It's called because I'm just giving you common sense from my point of view, my life's experience, my journey. And some of you may see things in my journey that are similar to your own journey. Some of you may not. Some of you may not be there yet. Some of you one day wake up and understand, hey, I understand you now because this is my story too. I've lived the same experience too. So, onwards with the journey. Okay, I hope to bring you more videos, more entertaining things. I hope some of you finally start subscribing to me and sending me comments. Tell me about things you want me to talk about. Say, Mike, I wish you would talk about this. Or what's your opinion about that? Or how's your life experience relate to this? Whatever it is. send a comment to me, info@intimemedia.ca. That's my thing. Or post on YouTube. I will attempt to go through the YouTube videos and check out the comments once in a while. But if you want to get directly to me, type info@intimemedia.ca. That's my direct email address for this channel, or for my Intime Media group. And you can send things there, and if I see the mail, I will reply back to you as quickly as possible. Or if you just don't want me to reply to you, but you want to respond to the video, I will do so at that time. If you want your name mentioned in the video, let me know. If you do not want your name mentioned, I will do that as well. So, the journey will continue. I'm back here again today. I may come back again later on this week and start a proper video where my hair is actually cleaned, and I'm sure maybe it'll be tonight. Maybe tonight we'll post another video. I don't know. It depends on what my schedule is. It depends on how tired I am. It depends on everything. So, in order for me to be the best host that I can possibly be, and allow to me to be the best person that I can be for myself and the people that depend upon me, not just my audience, who is not very big, but hopefully bigger, I want you to do one thing for me. If you like this video, smash the like button in here, please. That'd be so great. If you want to tell me suggestions how I can make this channel better, or things I can do differently than I'm doing now, or anything that makes me better, because like all of us, I'm work in progress. Even though I'm almost 60, doesn't mean I don't have room to get better. Or tell your friends to subscribe, or subscribe yourself if you've just been watching this channel all this time and think that maybe this content might be something entertaining enough to watch. I'm not talking about cars. I don't talk about politics all the time. I don't talk about sports. I don't talk about videos. I just talk about life in general. So if this is a topic that interests you, let me know. But at the same time, if there's things you want me to talk about, you think you want to know my opinions on, send me a comment or send me an email at info@intimemedia.ca, and I will attempt to respond to you in kind and give you the best answer I possibly can. I want to be the best host for you. I want to be the best person for the people in my life. I'm out there. I want to be out there entertaining people there and informing about things I know about. On a side note, just before I end this video, I want to let you know that I just got the schedule. I don't have it in front of me right now. It's I think it's May. Okay, I know it's May 24th is one date. The week before that, which is the 17th of May, Sweet Chicago will be playing again at one of the Rib Fests. I think it's Barhaven Rib Fest first on May 14th. They're playing at the Canada Rib Fest on May 24th, which would be on my fiance's birthday, and they're playing again in June at Capital Rib Fest. So I don't know the exact date of that. Sometime in the middle of June, approximately. I think it's June 20th. It's a weekend. Stay tuned. I will bring you up to date with the details. I will put a link in my thing to go to the information about that on my webpage once I post it there for all the details and all of that. I hope to put in a special t-shirt that I'm going to design for this particular event that I'm going to be selling at the event if you want to, or on the website. You can order it once it's on there. I'll give you the details once they're available. And cause I think this is something that made me remember it's my brother and his buddy Doug. It's kind of strange thing. They're kind of family now because his sister, Doug's sister, is involved with my brother. And so they're kind of brothers from a different mother type of thing, in a sense, like brother-in-laws, basically, realistically, because even though they're not married, they're common law. So I mean, might as well say brother-in-law. I'm just like, I'm not married, and the woman I live with, I consider my wife just as much as anyone else. And so it's like a family thing. And unfortunately, there's one member of Sweet Chicago that I know for sure is not going to show up. His name is Mark the Hook Tucker. Very gentle man, very, very kind man, very, very giving man. Was I think it was trombonist. I think he played the trombone for the band at the time. He passed away about 2 or 3 years ago or more. I don't know what he had. I never talked about his illness, and it was tragic that I heard about it and sad about his loss. We'll miss him. He was a good man. He was one of the members of the band, and I don't know who's replacing Mark. I'm hoping that they will announce the fact for the people that do know about Mark and may not be aware of his passing, might announce the fact that of his passing and acknowledge it, because the fact is he will be missed. He will be missed by a lot of people. These shows here will be, I don't know if they're coming back. I think this is supposed to make a It's just like a reappearance after a while. They hadn't done it for a while, and they know there's probably a lot of people asking. Hence why they're appearing at Rimfest, events that are not necessarily paid events like they have done before. This is an event that's hosted by the organizers, and they're being obviously paid by the organizations involved in these particular events. And so I hope you enjoy the show. It's a show free of charge. I don't think the event charge anything except for hopefully you patronize the patrons in the events. I'll try up all that nice food and listen to some pretty good music. I don't know all the details other than that right now. If I get more details, I'll get back to it. Anyway, it's coming up to almost the 30-minute point in this video. Since I don't have a lot to say and I pretty much covered everything I want to say for now, I'll just go off on say the other thing. Like, comment, and subscribe. And hopefully this channel will grow and I'll become more entertaining and more part of your life, and maybe encourage me to keep doing this and keep surviving those pearls of wisdom that I hope to be able to provide in the future, as well as talk about any of the interesting topics I hope you suggest to me, along with topics I'm coming up with talking about that may be interesting to you too, and hopefully you'll be able to tell your friends about them. Anyway, I'm Mike. This is my Tuner's work for Monday, March the 12th. The 12th? Yeah, March 12th. See, that's another thing. We get all these stuff, forget what day it is. So, take care, folks. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.